Hello, everyone. We're back with, I don't really know what to call this. I mean, I guess I could just call it a speed build. But yeah, okay, we'll just go with that. We're back with a pretty random, but also not so random speed build. So I did this build not too long ago, but a good while ago, maybe like a few weeks. And I don't know, I was just bored, sitting around one evening. I didn't feel like working on the save or any other things. And I also didn't feel like playing the game, like going into live mode, all that jazz. So I decided, you know what? Let me just go on my Pinterest because I have a lot of Pinterest boards. I'm kind of obsessed. And I just picked out a house that I had saved, and it was this house. I actually posted this on Tumblr if you follow me there. But yeah, it was kind of, well, what I think is an ugly house. You guys might like it, and that's cool, but I don't know. I feel like if I were to see this house in real life, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Anyway, yeah, I picked a house on Pinterest, and that's what we're building right now. So it's kind of just a nice little family home that you might find in, your downtown area or a nice little suburban area. Nothing too fancy. I really wanted to lean into the whole family aspect of things. So as we start to get further into the video and start actually furnishing the outside and inside of the home, you'll really see that come to life. It's just your typical suburban family home that you might come across in real life. So that's the vibes I wanted to go for. And I thought I did a pretty good job. But yeah, the main reason that I wanted to release this video in the first place is because, I did record this, so I feel like I shouldn't just sit on it. But also, I wanted to kind of give you guys an update when it comes to this channel. If you don't really care, you can skip past, but it's a very quick update. But yeah, when it comes to this channel, I do have a lot of things planned. I've mentioned things before, so we're still doing the A to Z challenge. But as I mentioned last video or last week, whenever the last time I talked to you guys, that next video for that will probably be out next week, along with some other things. So I remember a while ago somebody asked for me to do the a townie introduction, so I'm still planning on doing that. Oh, sorry, I can't talk. But yeah, I'm still planning on doing that, and I wanted to ask, what are some townies from the save that you guys want to get to know more about? I have some in mind, but I would like to get your opinions first. And then secondly, another video that's coming out soon is kind of, I guess, a how-to when it comes to building a save, because I think that would be pretty helpful to share with everyone. And my question about that is, what are some things you want to know about building a save? Is there anything in particular you want me to talk about? This will probably be a very short series, like probably 3 videos max or 4, I don't know. It shouldn't be that long. But yeah, those are some videos I have planned coming out. And I don't want to give you an exact date because I feel like that's a lot of pressure. And to be honest with you guys, I'm at a point in my life, I say this as if I'm like old, but okay. But anyway, seriously, I had like this big epiphany, and it could just be me like coming to, that realization that you get when you start to approach 30, or it could just be seasonal depression coming on, because usually I get a really big high, and then next thing you know, I'm crashing, right? Because the weather. But anyway, I'm at a point in my life where I want to try to bring more structure to my life and what I'm doing. And so, yeah, I'm starting, I don't know, to really think about how I want this channel to proceed and how to have that good balance of, this isn't a job. This is just something I'm doing for fun, which it is. That's why I started this channel. But also, I still want to have time to, play the game for myself. So I've been working on a bit of a schedule. Like I said, I won't tell you the actual dates of the schedule because I don't want that pressure. But if you happen to figure it out, good job. You're a genius. Pat on the back. But yeah, anyway, those are some things that I'm planning. You'll probably see a lot of videos coming out next week, to be honest, because I plan on doing some a lot of recording this week since I have a bit of a break, but also, like I said, a little bit of balance. So I think this is a good week to get ahead on some recording, but also enjoy my game on my own, play live mode. And that's also another thing. Maybe I'll live stream some of my, like when I play my family and stuff, but I don't know yet. I don't know. But yeah, now that that's out of the way, as you can see, we have the structure of the house coming along pretty well. And maybe you can see what I mean when I say this is kind of an ugly house, because it's not your typical structure, right? We have like these weird placements of the windows. The structure is kind of just, I don't know, a bit funky, right? You have that little octagonal room off to the side. But I also think that's what makes it very, very unique, very special, right? So when I say ugly, I'm not saying like, oh, this is a terrible house, I would never move into it. I'm mostly just saying that it doesn't fit your typical style or one that you would see in, an architectural magazine or whatever. And that's kind of why I gravitated towards it and wanted to build it. So yeah, the structure came along pretty easily. I might have mentioned this before, but a little building tip: when you start building, always start off with like a special feature of the house. So you'll notice when I first started this build, I started with that octagonal room, and then I just kind of branched everything off of it. And I don't know, it just kind of serves as a good anchor point when you're building. So yeah, whenever you decide to go in, especially if you're building from reference, try to find like an anchor point where you can kind of build the building off of, if that makes sense. And then from there, honestly, it just came together pretty easily because the rest of the house is just a box, and I was trying to picture where these rooms might be because I didn't have a floor plan for this home. I just had a picture of the front of the house, and everything else was up to me. So I just tried to envision where the rooms would be, where the kitchen would be, all those good things as I started building this house. And now we're on the outside doing the landscaping. And as I mentioned earlier, I really wanted to play in that family aspect. I don't know who exactly would live here. I did go in and decorate the rooms. I believe we have three or four bedrooms, and we have the parents' bedroom. We have a teen bedroom, I would imagine. Their room is a bit bohemian, I guess, because I do use like the little plant curtains from that plant kit, and there's a lot of earthy tones if I remember. And then we do have another room for probably two kid sims. Maybe like they're twins or they're really close in age, so they share a room. But their room is a bit more like sci-fi, science-y inspired. But yeah, that's kind of all I got for personalities. I didn't really think too much because I'm gonna be honest with you, I was mostly in the mood to build, but I was like, I guess I could furnish it because I only really wanted to furnish the kitchen. I thought the kitchen would be fun. Everywhere else in the house, I didn't really care for, but I was like, I already started furnishing the kitchen, so I might as well do the rest of the house. So there we are. But yeah, outside, as you can see, it's really lived in. I think that's the best way to say it. Really lived in. The grass is a little bit overgrown in spots, a bit patchy, because maybe the dad, the mom, whoever is in charge of taking care of the landscaping, they aren't the best, and they can't really afford to hire anyone else, so they're doing everything on their own. So yeah, we have some grass patches here and there. We got the typical bicycles, outside of the steps, the little basketball goal, because I don't know why, but I feel like whenever you think of like a suburban home, there's always someone with a basketball goal. At least that's what I think of. So, what's more suburban than a little basketball goal in the driveway? And now we are finally moving to the inside when it comes to the floor plan. Floor plans, I don't know, they're kind of interesting to me. Because for the most part, I feel like they come together pretty easily. And if you're one to struggle with floor plans, honestly, I would say the best way to learn and get better at doing floor plans is to use references online, right? There's a lot of websites, there's a lot of good resources out there where you can find floor plans to use in your own builds and you can adapt them. So, for instance, maybe I want to do this house right here and I found a floor plan that I want to use. You don't have to do it exactly how it's stated in the plan, right? Because it won't work for this house. That floor plan is for something else. But it's always a good little challenge because not only are you, again, using a reference when it comes to the floor plan, but it's forcing you to figure it out on your own, and that helps you in the future. You know, if you decide to do a floor plan on your own, you kind of have that practice from when you're adapting ones you found online to builds you're working on. But anyway, yeah, that's good practice. And also just talking it out too, I feel like helps a lot when it comes to floor plans. So that's what I did here. I knew I wanted some type of entryway because we have those stairs, and I don't know, I felt like that was a good flow when it came to this house. And I wanted the living room to be kind of in the front because when I was doing this outside structure for this home, I had that little patio in the back. And I was like, okay, where would this patio lead to? The kitchen. Because I thought it would be nice if you had maybe like a little mud room or something before you go into the kitchen. So that's another thing to keep in mind. When you are actually in the process of building the structure of the home, you should try to think a few steps ahead, right? So when you're placing these walls, when you're dragging things here and there, kind of keep in mind, okay, once all this is done, where are these rooms going to end up? And that'll kind of help you formulate a floor plan as you're building as well. But yeah, luckily, this one wasn't too hard because this house isn't that big, to be honest. It looks big, it is 2-story, but I feel like compared to a lot of other builds, especially some that I have done, it's not that big. To be honest with you guys, it's not that big. So yeah, everything came together pretty quickly. Like I said, I think we have three or four bedrooms. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, I think, am I about to work on that now? Let's see. Yes, okay. So yeah, I think we ended up with 4 bedrooms. So like I mentioned, we have the parents, we have a kid's bedroom, and then we have possibly the teen's bedroom. And I had to drag some stuff out because, yeah, that one room was just very tiny. And personally, I do like really cozy builds. I do like having my Sims live in very, like, snug, kind of tight rooms because I don't know, I just like playing in those. It just looks really nice when I'm playing. I know some people might hate it because maybe it's not that much room for you to like move the camera around and stuff like that, but that's what I prefer. But that room was just too tiny, so we had to drag it out a bit more. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the top floor, mostly just the bedrooms and some bathrooms. And then on the bottom floor, as you guys saw, we had the living room, the kitchen / dining room, and we had that really big open space is the foyer. And I thought, maybe that can just be the awkward desk area. Because if you have a house that doesn't have like a designated office space, usually your computer or your desk or whatever you're doing ends up in like a weird random place. And I was like, what's more realistic than making a realistic home and having that weird awkward space where you shove the desk or the piano or whatever you have. But yeah, that's what we have so far. And then we're just going around putting in the basics, getting the bathroom settled, all that good stuff. And now we are starting to furnish the kitchen. And like I said before, I was really just interested in doing the kitchen because I don't know, kitchens are my favorite part of doing builds. I don't know why exactly, they just are. Okay, they just are. And I really enjoyed doing this kitchen because I wanted to make it feel, again, homey, very cozy. Let's say that's the word of the day when it comes to this build. Cozy, right? It's a family home. It's a place where you want to come in and you immediately feel comforted, right? It's a place that brings good memories, hopefully, and that's what I wanted to capture when it came to this kitchen. So it's a pretty decent sized kitchen. I wanted to make sure there's enough counter space, so if you wanted to cook with the family, or maybe, I don't know, the mom or the dad or whoever is the parents of this household, maybe it's the grandparents, I don't know, but whoever it is, they probably really like hosting their extended family here, right? So there's a lot of holiday dinners. There's a lot of just dinners in general. I mean, they're always cooking, they're always up to something, they're always throwing something. So I wanted to make sure we had a kitchen big enough to accommodate that. And I thought we did. There's a lot of counter space. We have the islands too. And then we have a pretty decent dining room space off of the kitchen. And I really like how it turned out. I think it's pretty easy to navigate too. There's enough room for multiple Sims to walk around in this kitchen. And yeah, honestly, the more I'm looking at it, the more I just want to kind of hop in and have my Sim cook everything. Am I the only one that feels that way about the cooking skill? That and the painting skill are my favorite skills when it comes to this game, because it's just so satisfying. Like cooking like a meal or something for your sim or for like other people, and then leveling it up and unlocking all these recipes. I don't know. I really enjoy that. So yeah, the kitchen, really like the kitchen. Also, before I forget, I should probably mention, because I don't know, maybe no one will care or maybe no one will ask, but I feel like this is a question that might pop up. But you might notice the terrain looks very different. So I am using a mod. What would you call it, a mod? Or maybe just a replacement CC for the terrain by a winged llama. And honestly, if you don't know who a winged llama is, you need to get on it right now, because they are amazing. They create a lot of good CC for the Sims. They also have some really useful mods. If you happen to check out my Scuff New York series that I'm doing, then you'll notice that I'm building in a Willow Creek and New Crest save that looks very different than how it usually looks. And that's because I'm using a Winged Llama's empty New Crest. Ooh, that sounded very country. New Crest. Yeah, there we go. I'm using Winged Llama's empty New Crest and Willow Creek save. So yeah, okay. Blah. Oh, I can't talk, guys. I can't talk. Maybe I should have recorded this, but it's too late. We're almost done. But yeah, anyway, the point is, you should check them out because they're really talented. I don't know them personally, but I'm going to assume they're really cool because they make cool mods. But yeah, Just in case I get any questions about that, that is what I'm using. I'm using their terrain default replacement. And like I said, they have a lot of other good stuff, especially if you're into, I guess, making really lived in nostalgic homes. They have a good CC pack for that. But yeah, enough promo. Check them out. That's all you need to know. But now we're moving on to the living room area. And as I mentioned, I don't know, like sometimes I'm in the mood to decorate, especially when I have a family in mind. So when it came to doo-doo, you notice that a lot of the homes in that save, I feel like they're really personal. Let's just say that. They're really personal because they help tell the story of the Sims who live there. So those homes are a bit more detailed when it comes to decoration. But builds like this, where I just start building for no real reason, it's just because I'm in the mood to build, they're really hard to decorate because most of the time I don't have a family in mind. I know a lot of people, especially on YouTube, or I don't know, just people that build like just for fun, they do come up with storylines, and that's very cool. If I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm kind of tapped out. I'm kind of tapped out when it comes to making up stories for families who live in houses. Because, yeah, doo-doo, that took a lot out of me. I'm still recovering. And then also, I'm a bit crazy. So I am currently working on a personal save, and that also requires me to come up with like lore and storyline for the Sims there. So yeah, when it came to this build, I was like, I don't really care. All I know is it's a family. Maybe, probably lower middle class, or, just your regular suburban family. I don't know. But yeah, that's all I have for them. If you happen to have a storyline for them, what do you think? Or what type of family would live here? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, I was just going with the flow. Wasn't thinking too hard about it. Just throwing some stuff down, so it at least looked lived in, right? That's all I really cared about. That it looked like some family, any family, I don't know, that they lived here. And I don't think it looks too bad. And I don't know, like I said, this video is really random when it comes to the voiceover, but I'm trying to make it a bit more informative. I'm still trying to figure out how I want to go about doing voiceovers. But yeah, with that being said, as I mentioned, I feel like it looks decent. But I think when it comes to building, I don't know if anyone else feels this way too, but when you're building in The Sims, it's kind of hard to allow yourself to do things that look like tacky or doesn't look very aesthetic or looks kind of ugly, because I feel like maybe it's just like the influencer side of Sims, but especially if you're on like Tumblr and you're seeing all these really like aesthetic posts and everything looks really carefully done, right? And I don't know how to describe it. I'm not good with words, but you know what I mean, hopefully. So I feel like that kind of transfers over into when you're building in the game, because you're like, oh, these windows look really weird here. Even though if I were to see a house like that in real life, I wouldn't really think too much about it, because who cares where the windows are from the outside, as long as they're in a decent spot on the inside. Or this furniture looks weird, or these colors are mismatched, really, and they look really terrible together. Like, I feel like that line of thinking kind of seeps in from the social media part of playing this game, and I try to stay away from that. And I would encourage you to, unless you do like really going for those more, I don't know, intentional builds or like aesthetic builds, that's completely fine. I'm not saying that's wrong. You should go for it if that's something you like. But if you're afraid of building or sharing your builds because they don't fit that mold that you see from people on Tumblr or on the gallery or YouTube, wherever, I'm just saying, don't feel that way. Don't feel intimidated. Don't feel like you have to follow that mold, because I don't know. I feel like homes that kind of deviate from that. So a good example would be Wolf Extremer, right? You guys have probably heard of them. You probably watched them or came across their video or whatever. But their builds also kind of deviate from the norm when it comes to these really prim and proper, and I don't want to say aesthetic, because technically their homes are still following an aesthetic, right? That kind of more low income, or I guess a bit dilapidated kind of homes. That's still an aesthetic, even though it's not, you know, I guess a nice clean one. But anyway, to say, they kind of deviate from the norm. There's a lot of people that deviate from the norm, and you shouldn't let that stop you. Everyone has different styles, everyone has different tastes. There's no right or wrong way to build. You should be building because it's something you like and something you enjoy and you want to see in your game. So if it looks a bit funky, just lean into it. Don't shy away from it. Anyway, that's my TED Talk. Thanks for coming. But yeah. Okay, let's focus back on what we're doing now in the build. So as I mentioned before, this is a really lived in family home, and I don't know, like I said, I'm putting a lot of effort into the kitchen because that's the part I really care about. So we're using these little sticky notes from Parenthood, and if you didn't know, if you go into the debug menu, there's usually like these blank images from Parenthood. And if you raise it up, it actually is sticky notes. So that's a good thing to use if you want to like clutter up the refrigerator door or put some stuff on the wall. And it actually does still work, okay? It might not seem like it, but the Sims only open up one of the refrigerator doors. At least I think so. I hope I'm not lying, because I haven't play tested this yet. By the time this video is out, it should be play tested. But yeah, anyway, it's still functional. You can still use the refrigerator, and it looks really nice. And now I'm just going around the kitchen, kind of just adding things again to make it feel lived in, to make it feel like people actually are using these spaces and, you know, their whole lives are actually here. And I think it looks really cute. Looks really cute. I managed to find some good things to clutter up these shelves with, because I'm gonna be honest with you, shelves are a good way to fill up the walls, but also you have to find stuff to fill up the shelves, and that's the most annoying thing about them. But I feel like we made it work. It doesn't look too bad. But yeah, we have this really nice, cozy, comfy kitchen. So you guys see what I mean when I say like this little, maybe you also experience that. Like where you don't have a designated office space, so you just gotta find somewhere to shove the desk. Cause I feel like back in my day, like when we finally got a computer, we didn't really have anywhere to put it. So it was literally like beside the front door. Like when you walk in and as soon as you turn to the left, there was a computer desk. So yeah, I thought that was a nice touch. Having the desk kind of crammed off to the side somewhere because there's not really any room to do otherwise. So yeah, that's what we have. And now we are in the parents' bedroom. Again, very simple, not too much personality here. I don't know if I've already mentioned this, but I'm probably going to upload 2 versions of this house because maybe you're in more of a creative spirit than I am. If that's the case, then you can decorate this home to your heart's content. You can do whatever you want to it. Maybe you have a family in mind that you want to move in here. If so, that is completely fine with me. You can do whatever you want to this. But if not, and you don't really want to decorate, you don't feel like dealing with all that, and you just want to kind of jump in and play, I will upload the furnished version of this. But I want to give you both options. Because again, like I said, this build was kind of uninspired when it came to the Sims living here. Not really too much personality going on. So yeah, the parents' bedroom especially is just very simple. I kind of channeled my aunt and uncle's bedroom, to be honest. Or like my grandparents or whoever's bedroom I go into. My mom's, like them. I feel like they don't really do much. It's just a bed, some dressers, a lot of dark wood. So that's what we have in that room. And then bathroom, nothing special either. Just the things you need, some towels, things like that. And yeah, again, pretty simple. Just hopping around, adding in a few details here and there. And then we should be moving on to the bedrooms, and then we're in the final stretch. This video is almost over. Wow, would you look at that? Time has gone by so fast. But yeah, I forgot to ask. How are you guys doing? Oh gosh, it's a disaster. I'm being dramatic. I'm sorry. But yeah, I don't know. I've been in a really melancholy mood today. So maybe it wasn't the best idea to do this voiceover, but here we are. And maybe, I don't know, maybe you'll relate to this. Maybe you're also in a weird mood. But yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're doing good, taking care of your health because the weather is actually changing. Also, I hope those of you in North Carolina and Florida, Tennessee, Georgia, all those areas back in the US, I hope you're doing okay. Because that big hurricane hit. I have family in North Carolina, but luckily we're on the East Coast. So it didn't hit us too bad, surprisingly. But yeah, the mountains. Again, I just hope you guys are doing okay. Right? It's a lot going on. Same. I think there was forgive me. I try to stay up to date with everything, but there are some things I tend to forget because I have a really bad memory. But yeah, I know there's another natural disaster. I want to say in Southeast Asia, and if I'm correct, I hope you all are doing well out there. If you're watching these videos, if you even come across this, but yeah, everyone in general. I hope you're taking care of yourself. I hope you're trying to stay in good spirits. I know a lot's going on. I know times are very tiring, but I hope these videos can bring you some peace, even if they're a bit janky, even if they're a bit all over the place. But yeah, anyways, I just wanted to say hello and interject with that. But now we are in the teen's bedroom, and you can see what I meant earlier when I said it's a bit more of a bohemian style. We have those really cool, like leaf curtains from that plant kit. That was a really good kit, but I still wouldn't have bought it. Like, so I'm glad it was free, right? Because I would not have paid for it with my own money, but it was free. And I don't think it's free anymore. Maybe you can like message the EA team. That might work, but yeah, that was free. And we didn't really do too much here. Just added some little fairy lights. Maybe they're into like music because they have the record things. They have the vinyls. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. The vinyls on their shelves. They have some books. So yeah, that's their personality, music and books. Now we're moving on to the last bedroom, which I said was probably home to two kids, two children's Sims. And we make it a bit sciencey. This room does have a lot of personality, I feel like. Because I really wanted to make them, just kind of really into sci-fi maybe, into like the planets and all that stuff. So I played that up a lot, as you can see with the wallpaper I just added. Because I don't know what this wallpaper is trying to be, but I always associate it with like the stars and stuff. So whenever I build a sim that's really into like studying the universe or astronomy, whatever it may be, I tend to use this wallpaper. Also, I'm just jumping back in to say I really love that little spaceship thing we got. I believe it's from, I want to say Parenthood. Or no, not Parenthood. Growing Together. I don't know what you guys think about Growing Together. I know some people find it to be a useless pack, and I know some people really love it. But honestly, I feel like there's a lot of good build and buy stuff, especially when it comes to kids. So I feel like that little spaceship, and there's also some other like makeshift toys and structures that come with that pack that always come in clutch. Always come in clutch. So I'm not gonna recommend you buy it, but I guess I kind of am. But if you have the money to spend, and if it's on a good sale, I would say, something worth looking into, because there's a lot of good things. And also, I like the gameplay. I like the gameplay that comes with Growing Together. But yeah, we bring that in there because I thought, they probably like to make their own spaceships. They probably build their own little toy robots and things like that. They probably use the fishbowl as a helmet. Those things you used to do, especially when you were younger. And even though if you had toys or maybe you didn't have toys, you always ended up making things yourself, because it's nothing more fun than grabbing a whole bunch of random stuff and some tape or whatever it may be and making something from scratch. So these two kids that stay in this room, they definitely do that all the time. All the time. But yeah, I really like how it came together. I don't know. It seems like a very fun room that you would grow up in. Very junky though. These kids, they do not like to clean up after themselves. I feel like they're the type of kids that you have to come in and constantly remind, like, okay guys, it's time to get ready for bed or time to get ready for dinner. You need to go ahead and clean up this stuff. But yeah, very fun room. Very fun room to grow up in. And then this room right here, I kind of forgot about this room low-key. I know I said we didn't have like a designated office space, but also, what is this room for? Who did I give this room to? Oh, I remember now. Okay, please forgive me, because as I mentioned, this video is something I recorded like a while ago, and I don't have the best memory. But I forgot we also have another teen, or maybe this is like a preteen if we had them. But yeah, we have another teen in this house, so you can fit a good amount of Sims when it comes to this home. And for this Sim, to quickly kind of throw some things together, because when it comes to children, teens, I feel like it's really easy to represent their personalities in their rooms, because when you're that age, you're more likely to, really like decorate your room and throw your own personal style in there, whether it's posters, your trophies. There's a lot of things you really want to showcase, because I feel like that's the age to do so, versus when you're, well, even young adults do that too, but when you're like an adult, rooms look very bland. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys do like to decorate your rooms. I don't know. But the people in my life, they just have it really plain. But anyway, for this Sim in this room, I figured they're more of like the jock type of person. So, maybe they play soccer, or they're on the basketball team, or softball, volleyball, whatever it may be. They're really into sports. They're really good at them too. They're probably varsity at their school. And yeah, that was just kind of the idea for this Sim. Their job is sports. That's what they do. And so, yeah, I just kind of made it that. Or I guess I say that, but I don't really add in that much sports things. But I don't know. That's what I had in mind. I remember that. I had that in mind when I was doing this room. So yeah. And then I believe I added some of those, like that sports clutter at the bottom. So that's probably their stuff. I think that's where the idea came from. Yeah. Because the children's Sims, I don't know. Maybe they are into sports as well, but they didn't really strike me as the sports playing type. And the teen in the other room, I feel like they could care less. So yeah, this Sim and this kind of like greenish room that we just finished up, they're the sports Sims. That's their personality. And alright, so yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to this build. I do go around, as you can see, I add in that little cat tree and some stuff for pets. But besides that, not really too much left to do. We go out to the outside and add a few more things in the backyard. But yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to this speed build. As I mentioned, this was kind of just a throwaway video because, I don't know, I kind of just wanted to talk. I was just in the mood to do this. And I didn't feel like working on something else to record and things like that right now. So yeah, I hope you don't mind that this was all over the place. And if you do, I don't really know what to say. I don't really know what to say. You stuck around this long, so I guess it wasn't too bad. But yeah, hopefully you don't mind it, because I had people stopping by lately and saying that they like my voice, which thank you. It really makes me it makes me blush. It's really nice of you to say. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed me just yapping a little bit about this build, about the channel, and honestly about whatever that comes across my mind, because yeah, I don't really stay on track. But with that being said, I hope you guys are having a good day, good evening, good morning, wherever and whenever you are watching this. As I mentioned, we have a lot of exciting stuff coming to the channel. You're going to get a lot of videos coming your way pretty soon. And as always, I will be live streaming this weekend. I don't know if I'm going to do Saturday and Sunday, or if I'm just going to do one day. But I will try to give you a heads up if that's something you're interested in. But yeah, we'll probably be working on Scuff New York again because I finally figured out my mods. So we're good to go on that. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to end this voiceover here. And like I said, I'll see you guys later. I'm waving now. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.